I am live. I am live. Yo. Okay, there's Kiki. Kiki, you are so smart. She knew how to get here right away. Okay, let me add you to the stream. Hey, Kiki. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
No
So I'm
worries.
just waiting for some people to come on in. They're coming in. You
Perfect.
look beautiful. I love your red lipstick.
Thank
So
you.
pretty on your skin.
Thank you. Trying to getting back to myself, so I'm
Yes,
ready.
I can see you're already there, girl. Okay, here's our people that are coming in. Hey, y'all, come on in, come on in. I have Janice here, Shelly. Hey, Tracy, Lakeisha, Miss Andy. Hey, Charmel. Hey, Latanya. Hey, Summer Rain. Summer Rain. Hey, Miss Sharon. Hey, Shalonda. Hey, sis. Hey, Lawanda. My mods are here. Okay. Miss Shelley. So I'm not going to take too much time shouting out everybody's name. We have a special guest today, Miss KiKi. You remember I told you guys a little bit about her that I was going to be having someone that I admire and respect. She just birthed a baby a few months ago. Okay. So I wanted her to come on and share her story with us. She's also going to be coming back next week. Is it Saturday?
It's Thursday.
No, Thursday. Next week,
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. Right. So we scheduled a live for next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. She is also a financial guru. Okay, she has helped me facilitate a lot of my needs with the company that she works with. So I really want you guys to come back for the financial education and information that she's going to be able to offer you. Okay. But today, first of all, thank you, Kiki, for being here with me. I really, really appreciate you. I've been following Kiki for some time now. We are friends on social media and through some other people that we follow as well. Kiki has a beautiful family, 4 children, and a very supportive husband. Um, she has suffered some really, a lot of trauma in a few of her births. Her last birth was very, very close, for her and her baby. We are just so thankful that they both made it through. You guys know how I feel about births, most especially for Black women and what we are facing here in America and abroad, right? What women are going through and facing all the time just to birth a baby. Okay. So, Miss Kiki, I'm going to give you the floor. This is, Kiss by the Sun, my chat room here, my YouTube room here. These are my supporters and my people, and they support us. They want to hear more about your birth story. They definitely want to hear all about your financial education and information that you're going to share with us. So, come on and introduce yourself, and you have the floor.
Hey everyone. Thank you, Kiss by the Sun, for having me. I appreciate you, having me on today, being able to give me the opportunity to share my story to come back next week. Very appreciated. Hey everyone, I can't see you. But if you're there, you're there. So thanks for hopping on. So like she said, I'm Kiki. We've been following each other for some time. We've been meaning to connect for some time, and we finally made it happen. Today I'm just gonna share a little bit about my birth story, like in there wanted me to do, because of course, being a doula and a lactation counselor, she's very passionate about this. So she was like, you have to share your story to educate other
Yeah.
women and whatnot. So pretty much I am 2 months postpartum. I just turned 2 months postpartum. I would say when was the 17th? I think Tuesday or something. So my baby just turned 2 months. Um Fourth pregnancy, fourth baby. For the most part, I've had all my pregnancies, I've had pretty much normal pregnancies. Um I never really had any serious complications or anything like that. I've had normal pregnancies. Even this pregnancy actually was normal as well. The outcome was going to be a C-section, of course, because my last pregnancy with my 5-year-old, I had a strange cut. So I had a T cut. I don't know if you guys know, it's a T cut, a classical incision. So I couldn't vaginally birth my next child, this child. So that was the only complication. I already knew that. It was scheduled and everything. My C-section this time was scheduled for November 29th. And we were ready. We were prepared. Me and my husband were excited, thinking that the baby's going to come on the 29th. However, on the 17th of November, it was just a regular day. Like I went to sleep that night. It was a regular night. Me and my husband was talking. I ate my nighttime snack that I usually love, that I had loved my whole pregnancy. It was the perfect night. In the morning, out of nowhere, I was laying down sleeping around 8 o'clock in the morning. I just started getting pain on my left side. And the pain was so bad. It felt kind of like, and I'm just telling you guys how it felt, just in case, God forbid, if anybody ever goes through this, you know exactly what to look out for. But it just, at first, it felt like really bad gas pains. And I was like, okay, maybe I have really bad gas. Until it escalated around like a couple of seconds later. And I just called my husband. I was like, he was dropping the kids off to school. And I was like, you got to come back right away. Something's wrong. So he came back, and, by that time I was out of bed and bent over the bed, and my 5-year-old came in the room because she heard me saying, ow, ow, every minute. It was only me and her at home. And she was like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm okay. I don't know what's wrong. So my husband came, and from what I remember, it just escalated. So I just kept bending over for a while. And he was like, are you okay? He was rubbing my back. Do you want me to call the ambulance? Do you want me to, I was like, no, don't call the ambulance. Don't call the ambulance. And the reason why I said that is because, so I live in Jamaica, Queens, for all of you who don't know, in New York. And the closest hospital to me is Jamaica Hospital. And I was adamant on not having my baby at Jamaica Hospital. And I knew that, and I knew that's where the ambulance would take me. So I was like, no. I didn't think it was that serious yet. I was like, no, until like my whole stomach out of nowhere just got really hard.
Wow.
I could barely breathe. I was passing out, like literally, like, like when you watch movies and you're like, someone is dying and you're like, they can't stay up. That's how I felt. I kept like passing out. My husband had to hold me up. Wow. So I thought I was bleeding, but I was not bleeding out and, through my vagina and whatnot. I was not bleeding through there, but it was horrible. But, after a while, I was just like, you know what? This going to Jamaica Hospital is better than staying home. I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong. I can't even stay up. So we called the ambulance. These two really nice guys came. And, thankfully, they couldn't help me, of course, but thankfully they did not take me to Jamaica Hospital. They took me to the hospital I was getting my prenatal care at, which is Katz Women's Hospital, LIJ, Northwell. So you guys, you're in New York area, Katz Women's Hospital, they are great. They were fast, they were efficient. If you're having a baby, definitely go there. So I went there, and I went there in the ambulance. It took about 10-20 minutes, and I got there and I was rushed to, of course, the emergency section, right? So I didn't go in the emergency room, but I went to the labor and delivery emergency section. And when I got there, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. But I just kept feeling like I had to throw up, and I would just keep passing out. And thankfully I was there, but then they laid me down. I told them what happened. I told the nurses what happened, and they put the monitor on my stomach, and oh my God, it hurt like crazy. Like nothing could touch my stomach. I was in so much pain. You couldn't even do this in my stomach because it hurt so bad. So she put the monitor on my stomach, and she realized my son's heart rate was like at 65 and was going down.
Oh, wow. That's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was going down. So, she told the other nurse, and all I remember was they rushing me to the OR. So I was crying and everything. Because I'm like, what the hell is going on? I don't know what's happening. I thought that I was maybe coming to the hospital for maybe bad gas pains. Maybe they were going to give me some medicine or something like that. Next thing you know, I'm being rushed to the OR. It's like 30 other people in the room. They're all rushing. They're all talking loud, a whole bunch of noise. And all I remember next is just like the anesthesiologist just put a mask over me. And all I remember is just this air or whatever you call it,
Mhm.
on me, on my face. And it felt so funny. And I tried to take it off and he like holds me down and I was knocked out. I was
Yeah.
knocked out. And it was scary
Yeah.
because, I didn't know what to expect. I had to deal with that alone because my husband had to stay home with
Yes.
the
Yeah.
5-year-old.
Yeah.
And he came afterwards. And, I went to sleep
Yeah.
pregnant. And then I woke up an hour later and I didn't have my stomach anymore. I didn't know what was going on. I was still in and out of sleep until like in the evening. And it was just, it's like, sometimes I used to hear a lot about women talk about birth trauma, and you really won't understand until you actually been through it. Because for me, it's like I had a way of how this is my last child. We always knew this was going to be our last child, so
Yeah.
I had a way that I was going to have this baby, and then next thing you know, it was like it was taken from me. So even now, it's been
Yeah.
2 months. It's still fresh, but I still think about it all the time. I'm happy my son is here.
Thank God.
I'm happy I'm here but I still think about it like, wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And why? So during that procedure, I lost 2 liters of blood. I had to have blood transfusions. So the
Hmm.
reason I was passing out because I was bleeding internally rather than, out. So it was a complete uterine rupture
Yeah.
from my last incision. So my uterus split all the way open.
Hmm.
My son's head was out.
Oh my God. Yeah.
The cord was wrapped around his neck twice.
Wow.
When he came out, he was born blue. His APGAR score was only about 2, but he
Wow.
was alive. So,
Yeah.
thanks to the pediatrician and everything, like they really worked hard and, got him to get, luckily he didn't need any breathing treatments. He was only in the NICU for about 5 days because he was 35 weeks. And all he needed was like just to get his sugars up.
Yeah.
So he didn't need any breathing treatments, but I do remember at first I didn't know what was going on and exactly how serious that was.
Hmm.
All I do remember is like later on that evening, the nurses that treated me came back to me in the other part of the hospital where I was. And one of the nurses was just like, you were so lucky. There's a purpose for
Hmm.
your life because if you had came
Listen.
10 minutes sooner, you and your son would have been dead. And I
Yep.
was just like, what happened?
He's
Like I
he's
didn't
right.
know what happened. I was just like, what?
Hmm.
And then all the nurses kept telling me that, I went back 1 week postpartum because I had a really bad headache. And my blood pressure was a little bit higher than normal. And
Yeah.
that's all they kept telling me. Like, that baby is meant to be here. You guys are a
Yep.
miracle. And they were just
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow. Like, it was crazy, but yeah.
I'm so happy that you're here. And what why I wanted KiKi to bring this story forward is for one, for you all to be able to understand what women, because it's not always just sunshine and rainbows having a baby, right? We have these stories that are just not being told enough, okay? And there are worldwide millions of women die every year just for having a baby, okay? And it's just not enough awareness of what is being happen, what is happening around the world, right? And in the state of United States, Black women are 3 times more likely to die. I mean, die. What I'm saying is die. Just for having a baby, more so than any other race. Any other race. We are at the bottom of the totem pole. It's a very serious matter. It's very critical. It's not enough awareness. It's not, politicians don't talk about it enough. People don't advocate enough for us. They don't advocate for our care. They don't advocate for our risks, for our pains. They believe that we can tolerate pain because we're Black and we have tough skin. Remember what I talk about the Black women, um, being raised to be strong. They have the same beliefs of that as well because it's what's been dictated to them and it has gone down in generations. Okay. And so, a lot of the times, if we ask for pain medication, they automatically think that we're a junkie or they make some type of assumptions. We're going to be okay. You can do this. Women have been doing this all the time. And, they were doing this without pain medication before. or they don't look at certain risk factors. They brush it off, they brush it underneath the table, like brush it underneath the rug, because there's just not enough care. Okay. And all women suffer this, but what I'm saying is that Black women suffer this 3 times more likely. That's a huge difference, and in some places even more than that. Okay. So KiKi, her last birth that she had was a C-section, right? So this could not be a VBAC, when people are able to have a vaginal birth after cesarean, because she had a traditional cut. Okay. And they're not even going to allow you to attempt with a traditional cut in that way. I am still not quite sure as to why there was a need to do a traditional cut. I don't know the medical background as to what happened in her the last delivery, that the provider had to make the decision to make that type of incision for her, because usually we don't do that type of incision anymore. Okay, it's more like a bikini type of incision right on the bottom, and we get the baby out that way. That allows us to be able to try to attempt a VBAC, and it also helps with, it tries so that she didn't have to go through what she just went through. Okay, because this also is a risk factor. That's a risk factor. The uterine rupture, even more so with that type of cut that she had, right? So for me, I feel as though there were some risk factors there. She did have a scheduled C-section. This happened to happen at a time in which it should. How many weeks were you?
When it did happen, 35.
35 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So normally the C-section is scheduled for 37 weeks.
Yeah, so it was for 37 weeks. So what I would say is, yes, it did. So yes, it did happen because of my previous cut. Now, when I had my 5-year-old, of course, I wasn't as aware as I am now. I didn't know as much as I know now. And, I was just kind of like trusting whatever the doctors say, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I had her at New York Presbyterian in Queens, and she was full term. She was full term. She was about 39 weeks when I had her. Now, they didn't even let me go into labor. They were just like big on having her because she was transverse. So she wouldn't turn. I tried the procedure to have her turn. She still wouldn't turn. Actually, her heart rate went down, so we had to do the C-section there.
Yes, of course.
So she still wouldn't turn and whatnot, but I'm not sure why I had that cut. Now, from when I was doing my own research, and even the nurses at Cats Women's Hospital, they were telling me usually that cut only happens if the baby's premature. So she was really, she was developed. She was full term. She was an 8-pound baby, and I had that. But that cut was the reason for this. Now, what the uterine rupture, it was really rare from what I know. It was rare. I wasn't in labor. Usually that happens when people's in labor. I wasn't in labor. I was really having a normal night, normal morning, and that happened. So it's rare, but 5 years, they tell you don't have a baby 18 months, 24 months after C-section. And I waited the whole 5 years, and it's something still happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, you think time is on your side. The more time, the better. And it's like, not really, because 5 years, I mean, I know this cut takes longer to heal, but it should have healed better than how it did, so it don't rupture on its own, because I wasn't even pushing.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that could have went wrong. But what is most important, right? What we can hold on to is that you made it. You and your baby made it, and that in itself is why I named this Walking Miracles, because you both are walking. You literally are walking miracles, because the few people that I do happen to know personally that had a uterine rupture, unfortunately their babies didn't make it. The moms made it, but their babies didn't. I'm hoping to even have them, if they are comfortable enough to talk about it, on my panel as well, because it's not always the outcome that KiKi had. It's very serious to have a uterine rupture, guys. It's really, really life-threatening for the baby and for the mother. Okay, I mean, really, really serious type of thing. So, if you've ever had a cesarean section and you are experiencing these type of signs, you want to maybe take caution to that. This is awareness. All of this that we're hearing, and by hearing the different stories, it also helps birth workers to be more responsive, to pay attention a little bit more, to make sure that we pass on the evidence-based information that our clients so desperately need, and do the research, and so we can make sure that they have the right outcomes. That's why doulas changed birth outcomes, right? That's why the numbers say that, because this is the type of work that we do. We do a little bit extra, that providers, unfortunately, they're not able to do because they have hundreds and hundreds of clients, patients. So a lot of the time, some things get missed, but if you have that doula that is there for you to try to help, a lot of things will happen. A lot of things can happen, right? That we can't, it's unavoidable. Okay. We can't dictate what's going to happen, but we can try to bring as much awareness. We can look at little signs a little bit more. We can help that mama, as best as we can to get through, and to bring her where, educate her as much as possible. KiKi actually is very aware of a lot of signs and a lot of birth information herself. So she was able to make the right call. She was able to listen to her body. And immediately, even despite that she didn't want to go to that hospital, she took her chances and she went. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's just what it takes. Had she navigated and did something else, or went on her own, without the ambulance, we don't know what that outcome might have been. So sometimes we just have to listen to that intuition. We have to listen to those signs. We have to listen to our bodies.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to get help. So I know the hospitals, when it comes to Black women having babies, it gets a bad rep for the most part. And yes, it's still like that. A lot of hospitals are still like that. But if you find a good hospital, of course, I would recommend first, trust your provider 100%. Be comfortable with them. Find one that cares. Not all of them care. A lot, unfortunately, to a lot of them, especially if you're Black and you're a woman and you're, let's say, a little bit younger. I'm in my 30s, so if you're a little bit younger, they would they kind of tend to brush you off. Yep. So find somebody, unfortunately. So find somebody who cares, right? Find a provider who cares, who's actually going to look into every little thing that doesn't look right. Yes, it's annoying. I had a provider like that, and it's a little bit annoying, but it's great because they're going to make sure you're okay, and they're going to listen to you. So do that and listen to your body. Listen, I'm all for holistic stuff.
Yes.
And, trying to do things on your own, not going to the hospital every minute. But listen, some of that don't work. It works, but sometimes you got to go get medical help. You got to go to the hospital and get medical attention, because that's just what it is. Something, herbs and all that supplements and stuff, it's just not going to do. You got to go to the hospital. So listen to your body, know when to go to the hospital, especially with a baby, when you're pregnant. You don't want to, chance that, be like, oh, it's good. If you're doing something like having contractions all day and it's not your time, you need to listen to your body and get into the hospital, because it can be something serious. The day before the uterine rupture, 2 days before that, I had a lot of contractions like Braxton Hicks, and I didn't listen to my body. I stayed home all day and I didn't go in. And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but maybe if I had went in, it could have been a different outcome. Maybe they could have seen something. So that was a learning lesson. I'm not having any more kids, but that's a learning lesson for me, or somebody who I who I can educate, my friend, my sister, my cousins, or even my daughters. I have 2 daughters, who are going to have kids one day. Just really to listen to your body and to get good providers. You don't have to stick with the first one you come across. I think that's one of the most important ones.
Yes.
Getting great providers, making sure the hospital you're going to have the baby at is well equipped, well educated, know exactly what they're doing. I don't know where you guys live, but of course I'm in New York, so it's we have a lot of big hospitals here. Mm-hmm. But just a hospital that knows exactly what they're doing, that cares, that is big enough to handle anything that comes their way. Because like you said, during birth, anything could go wrong. if
Yeah.
anything does go wrong, you want to make sure they don't got to transfer you somewhere else. Like they can
Yeah.
handle it. They have doctors there, they have nurses there that know exactly what they're doing, and they can handle it right then and there, because a lot of times it's life threatening, it's time sensitive, like it was for me.
Yes.
And if you don't take care of it right away, it'll be a bad outcome. I'm just very blessed because I hear all the time. I've been hearing, I never heard of a uterine rupture, honestly, until it happened to me. A lot of
Yeah.
people haven't.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I just never heard of it until it happened to me. And when I was looking it up, I'm blessed. My son came out. He's alive. He's 100% well. He doesn't have any issues or anything like that. But I was looking up, and some of the outcomes can be, if a baby makes it, they can have like cerebral palsy or
Yeah.
something like stuff like that. And I was just
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
my son he's great, and I'm just grateful for that. Whatever our plan is in life, whatever plan God has for us, we don't know it yet,
Yes.
obviously, but
Yeah.
whatever it is, we're definitely looking forward to it. And it's just, I'm happy to be on here because I get to really like talk to you guys and
Yeah.
educate you guys about exactly what happened, because it's a really serious thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of women I'm the baby made process is done for me, but it may not be for you and other women. So, you want to know exactly what could happen, what would happen, especially if you had, even if you had a vaginal cut, because women die from
Yeah.
vaginal births all the time.
Hmm. Yes,
And
they do.
it hits worse now because, when you go online and you see something about a mother dying during childbirth, and you're like, oh shit, that could have been me, but I
Yep.
did it. And now
Right.
it's like every time I see that, I get extra. It was sad before, but now I see that, I get extra sad. Like
Yeah.
it's like really sensitive now,
Yeah.
because I was right there. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you have to have the balance, as Kiki was saying. Herbs are great. Holistic healing and treatment. I love it. I'm all about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be actually studying a little bit more about holistic healing and everything like that too. But we just have to have a balance, right?
Yep.
We have to know that there are times where intervention is necessary, and this was one of those times, right? So listening to the bodies and doing just as Kiki has said. By Kiki, also you sharing your story and having this conversation with us is also healing for you. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, because you're working your way through exactly what happened. It helps, with your trauma. Okay, always speaking about things are always helpful. You're getting it out there. You're helping so many people that are going to be listening now, are going to be listening later, that can have some type of awareness and associate themselves with your story and see that positive outcomes can happen. You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate you coming forward again and sharing your story with us. How are you doing now, postpartum?
So postpartum, 2 months postpartum, I'm great, honestly. I'm doing a lot better. In the beginning, it was tough. Like with my last C-section, I was fine in like 4 or 5 days, honestly.
Yeah.
This one, it's like it took like 4 weeks postpartum, I was still getting the same pain. I could barely walk. Um, Luckily I had support. My older kids, they were great, they were helpful. My husband, it was a lot on him because most of the responsibility was on him. But he really stepped up and did exactly what a partner is supposed to do.
Yes.
I was upstairs the most time on bed rest. I didn't really have to. He wouldn't let me come downstairs. He wouldn't let me lift a finger. He wouldn't let me do anything. He wanted me to really heal. And having that support, I think, is part of the reason why I'm feeling better today. Why I'm able to, move like I am able to move, because in the beginning, I had that support. And it was rough. Like in the first couple of weeks, it was definitely rough on everybody. It was different because at one point I had to go back to the hospital. Then I was always in pain. I was able to take care of my son, but I wasn't able to move around like I usually do. And if I did try, and even worse now, when you come home from the hospital for whatever reason, they don't give you any pain medication other than
No.
Tylenol and Motrin,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
crazy.
After a C-section and being cut in the way
Yes.
that you had. I mean, seriously, this, you see what I'm saying? Because they feel like if they give you this pain medication, that they're going to introduce you to drugs and But there are some certain instances. She had a whole, I mean, that's a huge, so her uterus is literally, her organs are taken out of her body. They took it, can you imagine your organs sitting somewhere as they
Mm-hmm.
repair it? They're repairing things and getting a baby out. They're taking your muscles out of your body, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
putting it back together again. And they send this woman home with no pain medication.
Yeah, for the most part, Tylenol and Motrin. My husband had to get some Tylenol and Motrin. I thought that was crazy. No pain medication, but I was just like, whatever. Had to deal with
Yeah,
it. So I was like, for a while, I was just taking, Tylenol and Motrin. Then my blood pressure, my body went into shock when I had the baby. So my
yeah,
blood pressure was high for a couple of weeks. I had gestational hypertension after I had the baby. Thankfully, it didn't turn into preeclampsia. So
yeah.
postpartum, the first couple of weeks was rough. Now it's a lot better. So with my of course I still get pain where my scar is.
Okay.
I still feel pressure. I still feel pain there. Especially if I turn a certain way, if I try to lay down a certain way, I'll
Yes.
still get pain, but it's not as bad as it
Okay.
was the first couple of days. But I can tell it's not fully healed yet.
Yes. No, no, it's
Yeah,
gonna take time.
I can tell
That's
it's
not,
not fully healed.
no, that's not 8 weeks for you. You had a really major issue, going on, and a bigger incisions. You had a traditional cut again. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna take you a couple of months at least more to
Yeah,
recover.
that's what I figured.
Mhm.
Like even with the the day of the rupture, the pain started on my left side of my inside my stomach. So, sometimes I still feel that pain, or I still feel like, a little tender over there. So I'm realizing, like, it's gonna take time. So
Yeah.
what I'm doing now is, like in the beginning I was so hard on myself. I was just like, oh my God, I look like when I first had the baby, like when you first have a baby, you're not used to looking a certain way. You're used to looking your beautiful self and all that. And now when I first had the baby, I was
Yes.
just like, oh my God, I don't like how I look, if I'm gonna be
Yes.
honest.
Yes. Yes.
I
Of
was like
course.
swollen all over. Everything looked big. My stomach was huge. My face was huge. Like I was just like, I don't like how I look. And in the
Yeah.
beginning, my husband was like, "You look fine. You just had a baby. Relax." And I was hard on
Wonderful
myself.
husband. Wonderful husband. Thank
he
you, husband, for
he
being the village.
he always gets on my case about that. And
Yeah.
he's like, you know what, and I was just like, okay, I need to. Once my 6 weeks is up, I was like, okay, I need to lose this weight. I need to do that. But now I'm just like at the point where I'm just relaxing because I did. I'm not going crazy with any exercise or anything. I'm just watching what I eat, of course. But I did go through something traumatic, and it's still very new. He just turned
Yes.
2 months, so I'm
Yes.
just really giving my body time, giving myself time. I'm still breastfeeding, and I'm always hungry because of that.
Yes.
So I'm
Of
still trying.
course. Of course. And feed yourself, okay?
Yes,
Don't
I
worry
am.
about the little weight gain, honey. You are a complete warrior. Look at what your body just did, girl. Are you kidding me? And look how beautiful you are. Look at your skin, how it's glowing. And I just want to also let you guys know that mom is exclusively breastfeeding. She has to pump a lot because the baby was in NICU, but she is exclusively breastfeeding her baby, which I am so incredibly proud of you for. And I'm not passing judgment on anyone who doesn't choose to do that, right? Because we all have to respect people's choices. But she is able to do it and she wants to do this. And baby, she's working on latch still with the baby, but she's pumping and doing the extra work, which is really, it's harder to pump. It's just so much easier to put the baby
Yes,
on the breast. It takes a lot
yes,
more work for a mama to pump. I was a pumping mama too, when I went back to work. So I know, it takes a lot of work to be able to pump. I am just so happy that you had a village, right? Because
yeah,
that's another thing that is missing in a lot of our households now today. If we go back to colonial times and slavery times, we had a village then. I mean, the community was our village, right? So when a mom had a baby, everyone came in. The mom did not have to do anything but stay at home and nurse her young. That's all she had to do. She didn't have to look after anything else. She didn't have to get up. She didn't have to do anything else. The village helped her cook, help her clean, help her take care of her home, her husband, and mom just nursed her baby. That was the village then.
And
80%.
and speaking of village, and I'm also grateful because I had a really good village. Like 2 weeks after I had the baby, my mother-in-law, she was off for a little bit. She came here, helped. I didn't have to do anything. She made me some soup. She folded clothes because Lord knows it was a mess. She did all of that.
Yes. Thank
And
God.
with food, my kids aunt, she prepared a bunch of food for them. My
Yes.
husband didn't have to cook. I didn't have to cook anything for
Yes.
a couple weeks.
Good.
My dad came, he brought some vitamins for me because my iron was really low,
Yes.
with the
Yes.
blood pressure and
Important.
everything. So,
Hmm.
we family looked out. So,
Thank God.
but thankfully we were grateful. I'm grateful for that because I wasn't by myself. I think if I was by myself, I wouldn't see this experience as how I did. And it's unfortunate. A lot of pregnant women have to go through things by themselves. And from what I've been through, I told my husband, no woman, no pregnant woman who have a baby should ever have to should ever have to go through pregnancy
No.
or birth
Yeah.
by yourself, whether it's a
No.
partner, the baby's father, or just like, a support
Hmm.
person, a best friend, a sister, somebody. You need somebody there with you because it's a
Yes.
very serious issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just grateful that I had a village and I had people who cared, who wanted to make sure that we were good. My kids, they were awesome.
Yes.
My other kids are 13, 10, 5. They were even up to the 5-year-old. They were all like,
Oh.
handing me stuff, going downstairs every minute, handing me stuff.
Oh.
Even when I got on their nerves, my daughter, I'd be like, Kim, can you go get me this? She'd be like, oh gosh. But she would go do it. So,
Yes.
I'm just grateful for that. It was hard on everybody in the beginning,
Yeah.
but we are much, much better. And not just that, like all the appointments. It was like,
Yeah.
even now, even now, my son he still has extra appointments and whatnot.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, but all the appointments was crazy, and I wasn't driving at that time. I couldn't drive, so it was all on my husband to do it. Take me to
Yes.
the appointments, take him to his appointments. So it was a lot. On one person, he was doing most of the heavy load, so it was a lot on one person. But now I'm feeling better. I'm able to walk. I'm able to talk. I'm able to get back to work. I'm able to do, etc. I'm just not straining. I'm just taking it easy on my body. I'm not straining myself, going crazy with any exercise or anything like that. I'm just, enjoying where I'm at because
Yes.
um I almost wasn't here. So like for
Exactly.
the for the holidays,
Exactly.
I just like for the holidays, I told my husband, I was like, I'm not even going crazy for the holidays. Like I
No.
just had a baby. I'm just grateful
Hmm.
that we're here, because
Yes.
it could have ended differently and whatnot. So 2 months in and we are doing much, much better. He is growing.
Oh.
He's growing. He's gained 4 pounds his birth. So he came out at 5 pounds
Okay.
even. So
That's good.
he's
Hmm.
he's about 9 pounds now.
Oh, a little munchkin.
So he's gained a lot of weight strictly off
Yeah.
of breast milk. He's still little, of course, but they with him born a month and a week early, they count it
Hmm.
and say he's about a month now instead of 2 months.
Yes.
So
Yes. He's a preemie. Because mine was
yes.
a 35. My Faith was a 35 weeker too, and she was 5 pounds 4 ounces. So that's about
Oh
right.
really? Okay.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
yep, 35 weeker too. So also another point that that I want to bring up, Shani talked about after her C-section, she had the scar tissue, right? Which is very common for a woman to have after surgery, and it becomes more painful too. And this is the extra pain that KiKi talked about, because remember this wasn't her first C-section, right? So she also had a lot of, and she's suffering a lot of pain. It's something else to be noted about the C-section as well when you're having multiple C-sections, and the same exact thing happened to Shani too.
Yeah, and well, they didn't tell me anything about any scar tissue, but I'm pretty sure I have, especially from
Yeah,
what just happened. I'm pretty 100% sure I have.
yeah,
But I how should I say this? It's definitely even with that, when I first had the C-section, when I came home, a couple, I don't know if you remember, but like I had so much fluid in my body a couple of days after. It was hard for me to breathe laying down. Like I couldn't breathe laying down. I had to go back to the hospital,
mm,
made sure there was no blood clots, there was no aneurysm or anything, thing like that. And it was fine, thankfully. But all of that, like people don't talk about, like the different stages our body goes through after you have a baby. And for me, it was definitely an experience, a different experience. Fourth child, last child, I'm definitely not having any more kids because, and my doctors would tell me, "Oh, you're still young. You may," and I'm just like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm not."
Well,
I
it's your
just,
decision, whatever
yeah,
you feel, I mean, time may predict something different, but that's completely up to you,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I say unless God did it, then
Yes.
no.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because after what happened, I just feel like I'm not, and I'm
It's a
not
lot of
gonna
trauma.
purposely I wouldn't even be able to enjoy the pregnancy, and I'm
Yes,
not gonna
I
purposely put
understand.
myself through that,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, taking it on in every like couple, like when I lay down at night, of course I still think about it. Because it was a different experience for me. I didn't get to have him how I wanted to, but the outcome obviously weighs out, what
Yes.
happened. I don't know why it happened. We don't know why it happened, whatnot. Nobody knows. But maybe it was part of my purpose to talk to people, women like you guys about it. Who
Yes.
knows? Maybe that's just
Help
what,
other women through this. Look at what you're doing. You're already finding your purpose.
right.
This was meant for this to happen. This connection was meant to happen. The thing about it is that the more people understand stories like this, the more people that we can touch, we can get. Because even if the women that are listening are not in the season of birth, right? Not in the season of having babies anymore, they're able to pass it on to their family members and
Exactly.
so on and so forth and so on and so forth. We have to continue to have these conversations. We have to continue to uplift our women. I mean, look how incredibly beautiful this woman is for what she has just went through. I mean, she's almost pretty much died. Okay. And look, I mean, I don't mean to say it in that way, but look how beautiful her skin is, guys. I'm so jealous. Now, this is what I'm jealous of. Look at her. Okay. Your skin is popping, boo.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Um,
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That feels good hearing that, of course, because
Yes.
when I first had him, I didn't feel as pretty and whatnot. But especially because when I first had him, I didn't get to see him until 3 days after I had him. Like, imagine having a baby, having your baby, and not
Mm-hmm.
being able to see your baby until 3 days after you have him for the
Yeah.
first time.
Oh,
Like that
wow.
was
That's
that was
hurtful. Yeah.
yeah, and I was just like, I'm not used to that. So I was like, oh my God, what if he don't know me? What if he, but
Yeah.
of course that's not the case. But,
Yeah.
seeing him 3 days after, he of course he wasn't latching or anything like that. And I didn't spend much
Mm-hmm.
time with him in the hospital because I was all the way upstairs. He was downstairs. Whenever I did come to see him, it was only maybe for like an hour or so because I was so tired and needed my rest.
Yes.
So when he got home, we did get to bond, of course, because I'm like the primary caretaker of him. So we did get to bond. We did get to do everything, and we're still going strong. We're still working on that latch though,
Yes, that's
because
okay.
I am
You'll get
tired of
it.
pumping.
And if you don't, I mean, you continue doing, you do what you can do. Okay. Don't
Right.
let that, listen, girl, what you just been through and what you are still going through, because I know you're still dealing with the trauma. I can see that. You are still
Mhm.
dealing with some of the trauma of what you went through because you felt as though, like what I'm hearing is that you felt as though some things were, you weren't in control of your birth. You were
Yeah.
completely sleeping. You've
Yeah.
mentioned that to me, and that's a bit, that it's a lot to deal with. We want to be in control of our bodies and control of our birth. We want to have that immediate bond with
Yes.
our babies, and
Yes.
I completely understand that because I had a NICU baby too, and it takes a toll on a mom to not be able to be with her baby. It was 3 days for me too. With
Oh,
actually,
really?
she wasn't even a preemie. My
Really?
last baby, right? She was full term, but she had some complications and breathing issues, so she had to go to the NICU right away after birth. So it made me feel like a little bit displaced, with my baby because
Yeah.
I didn't have her there. So I completely get it and I understand. I was able to see her though, but you not be even being having to be awake. I mean, this was a true emergency, y'all. She had to be under anesthesia, full anesthesia, to birth her
Mhm.
baby. That's really serious, So this is the reason why I continue to say you two are just walking miracles. I want you to continue to share this story. I want you to continue to understand your worth, how God has is moving through you and through your baby, moving through the both of you. You both just have so much purpose here, to still be here, to go to be able to deliver this outcome, and to be able to say that you're here, you're walking, and you both are fine, you're healing, your baby is completely normal, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just, I mean, if you want, can we see him or no? It's okay.
He's let me ask my
He's sleeping.
let
Okay.
me ask my husband
Don't
real quick.
disturb him if he's sleeping.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him if
Yeah.
he's sleeping.
Yes. Yes. Walking miracle. Walking miracles, y'all.
Is he sleeping? Okay. Yeah, he's sleeping.
Okay, no, leave him. Don't,
He
because
loves to
listen,
sleep. Oh my God.
I completely understand. That's all they do right now. That's all they do right now. Sleep, poop, and
Yeah.
eat.
He just loves to sleep. He slept all day yesterday. I'm like, oh my God, this boy can sleep.
Oh, he's growing. He's trying to catch up.
I guess, because I'm like, he sleeps a lot. Yeah, but I guess he's growing and trying to catch up.
Yes, the little thing is catching up, but that's good. He has good weight gain. And that's great
Yeah.
that that's all from breast milk, y'all. Have you supplemented
Yeah.
at all?
No, the only time he's had formulas, like maybe a couple times in the NICU when I wasn't producing yet. But
Okay.
as soon as I started producing breast milk, he's had breast milk straight through. No formula
Do
since he
y'all
got home.
do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? 100% exclusively breastfeeding.
Yeah, he eats often. He eats like he was at 2 ounces for a while. He's still between 2 and 3 ounces because with breast milk they don't
Okay.
need that much.
Yeah.
But he eats like every hour and a half, every 2 hours. He loves his food. He is active, holding his head up. He is
Oh,
making his noise. His new thing he's just discovered a couple of days is his hand. So like when they first
yeah.
discovered their hand. So he's like looking at his hand, his fist every minute,
Oh
and I'm
my
just like
goodness. Oh,
smiling. He just started
so
smiling a
sweet.
lot. So he's reaching his milestones.
Thank
Even though he
God.
is a month behind, but he's reaching his milestones and he's doing
Yeah.
well. For a 2-month-old.
Yeah.
Um, so me and my husband, we're just grateful that he's okay, that I'm okay, that everything
Mm-hmm.
is okay, because
Yes.
we're just grateful for that.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm glad that you're doing well. And if you ever need, someone to talk about, because we have to also remember, guys, 80% of women suffer baby blues, right? So it's not exactly postpartum, but it's, we go through it. She still has, the hormones are still settling, hormones are still going crazy. She is a
Yeah.
breastfeeding mother, which is really helpful to stabilize the hormones, which is one of the reasons why I advocate so much for breastfeeding, because it really does help stabilize our hormones a little bit better. But postpartum depression is very prevalent, and unfortunately, a lot more women die after birth than during. So we have to also pay close attention to our mamas after birth just as well. That's why I don't abandon my clients. It's not just, oh, you had the baby, okay, well, bye.
Yeah.
Take care. That's not how it works. No, we still check in. I do postpartum visits. We do calls. It's like a whole year. A matter of fact, we just remain friends. Like, I still see these babies. I see them grow. And it's like I give them a whole 6 months after the fact to continue to check in. Let's make sure that everything is checking off, and you're able to heal. You're able to be functional, and baby, and everything is okay.
And that's great that you do that because when you have a baby, most people are always checking on the baby. They hardly check
Yeah.
on the mom. They're like, okay, as long as you
Yep.
had the baby, you're good.
Yes. The
I know.
same thing when my clients, when I'm on the birth, after the mother births the baby, this is really important, critical stage, guys. It's very critical right after the mother births the baby, because she can literally bleed out, right? So I stay vigilant and I stay close to that mother. I don't go with the baby. Whoever else is the supporting person will go with the baby, but I stay with the mother. My I am concerned about the baby, but my biggest concern is the mother, right? Because mothering the mother. There's a book actually that, talks a lot about that and how we can mother the mother, because we can't forget about the mother, right? And
Yes,
what her body
absolutely.
has just done. A mother can't give on an empty cup. So we have to make sure that
Hmm.
we mother that mother. So my job is to stay close to that mother and make sure that the providers are standing there doing what they're supposed to be doing and making sure that this mother doesn't bleed out. Right?
And that's great and it's great that you do that, and it's great that
Yeah.
you keep in contact with your clients even up to like 6 months or even a year, because
Yep.
people think postpartum is just a 6 weeks, and
No.
I'm not going through, thankfully I'm not
No.
depressed or anything, but
Yes.
I can still feel my body feel like I just had a baby. So it's
Yes.
not just 6 weeks, it definitely takes time.
Yes.
It takes time. It takes more than 8 weeks. It takes more than 6 weeks. It's definitely going to take a couple of months, for me to feel like 100% back to myself. So it's great
Absolutely.
that you acknowledge that with your clients, because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times most people, they don't, it's not, I won't say they don't care about the mother, but
Yeah.
they're just like, well, she had a baby, she's good. It's a
Yeah.
new person in the house, let's focus on the
Yes.
baby now. How is the baby doing? And people call, they're like, oh, how's the baby doing? People hardly be like, well, how are you doing? Are you
Right.
feeling better? how
Yeah.
how how are you feeling today?
Yeah.
Even if you had the baby 3 months ago,
Yep.
they're like, oh, you 3 months postpartum, you're good. How's the
Yeah.
baby? you know
Exactly.
um so it hits different when people are concerned about the mother as well, even way after she had the baby, whether
Yeah.
she had a traumatic birth or did. Right now, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, do I have people the only person who asks me how I'm doing, of course, aside from my husband, is my dad.
Yeah.
Who he'll ask about the baby and whatnot, but he'll check in every once in a while. He'll be like, how are you doing? How's the baby? Is everything good and whatnot? But that,
Yeah.
like, little things that people don't realize, little things like that, it means a lot, especially because what
It
I went through.
does.
Because it feels good to be like, you're checking in on me as well.
Yes.
Of course, with the
Especially
baby.
for a mother that has 4 children.
Exactly.
you know
Exactly.
so it's important that we continue to check in and continue to be that village for that mama. She's still going through it. Her hormones are not yet stabilized. We go into those baby blues and just not feeling beautiful, not feeling complete, and just
Yes. Oh,
feeling just
yes.
so overwhelmed.
Yes.
I
Yes.
understand completely.
And I
you
feel
know
like this brings this after this. I didn't feel like that with any of my other kids.
yeah.
But this one definitely postpartum feels different.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel the baby blues. Looking into myself, I feel like, oh, I'm not. I don't look as pretty as I usually do.
Yes.
My body looks crazy. I'm feeling it differently this time, as I will say. The last three
Yes.
times I was fine. I had the baby. I didn't really have any of that thing like that. But now I'm like, okay, yeah. That's
Yeah.
why they say every pregnancy and every birth is different. You can have
It is.
3, 4, 5 great births, and the next one, something happens and it like knocks you all the way out, and you just never know, right? So that's kind of like with me,
Yeah.
but I'm doing better. I'm doing great. I'm doing better. But I'm still not on. Like you said, it's gonna take a while. I'm still not
It's going to take
100%.
time.
There's
Are you getting any self-care for yourself? Because it's also important. Just like I said, you can't fill that cup. You can't
yeah,
fill it on empty. I mean, I know you have a baby that is latching and still breastfeeding, but you have to take time for you. You have to go outside and get away from everything and everybody. You'll fix yourself up all pretty how you are right now, and you go out, or however you want to go out, and you feel beautiful by yourself. Have some time for yourself, because mama needs a break too.
yeah.
Okay.
So like 2 weeks ago, my husband booked a massage for me, so that was really great.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
So that was really great. That was really needed. I need to go back
Yes.
there. And and today I told him, I was like, before I capped on this earlier today, I was like, listen, I don't mind. I'll take him for a walk. That's fine. But it's cold, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But I was just like, listen, I need to go outside. Like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
need to go for a walk or something. I haven't like went outside for a walk in a while.
Yes.
I just need to do it for my mental health, like for
Yes.
my mental, because I just felt like I'm more in the house now,
Yeah.
because of what happened and whatnot. Not fully healing. I'm mostly with the baby most of the time. I'm more in the house
Yes.
now. But I was just like, listen, just watch him. I need to
Yes.
go for a walk. I need to go
That's
to
what.
the. I went to the store.
Very good.
Um, I just went out. Like, I just went for a walk. I didn't do anything in particular, but I just went for a walk, and I just felt
Absolutely.
so good afterwards, just to having that fresh air. and to be by myself a little bit, listening to my music, and just, you know, if you don't really know how important that is until you're like, shit, you hardly get that.
Yeah. Hello. We
Because
need
before
that.
I used to get it all the time, you know, even though I had 3 other kids,
Exactly.
but they're older. Now it's like I got to schedule even something as little as washing my hair.
Yep.
So it's you don't know how important that is, you
Because
know,
you
just
got to go according to your baby's schedule. And, you know, he only
exactly,
sleeps, you know, for a few hours at a time, and then he's
exactly,
hungry again, you know.
exactly.
So, I mean, it varies, you know, their schedule, they change. Sometimes they're cluster feeding, sometimes they'll sleep a little bit more. I mean, at his age, it's still changing, you know, so you got to go according to his schedule. But I just pray that you continue to get rest. Pray that you continue to heal, you continue to glow, because I'm telling you, you are just so beautiful, honey. So please don't feel anything otherwise. Don't feel anything. You're amazing. Your body has just been through something so miraculous. And you're here, you're standing, you're looking so beautiful. And I'm just really just so proud of you. I'm so proud that you were so courageous to come out here even to share your story. It says volumes about you, and it also says that you care about other women that can
Definitely.
possibly be going through the same thing. Um, you know, and I just always want to continue to be a resource even for you. I know you weren't my personal client, but that doesn't matter. Whatever you need, you understand what I'm saying? I'm right here. You know my number, you know how to find me, and I'm going to be checking in on you and baby boy anyway.
Thank you.
Okay? You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Is there anything else you want to close out with?
Um, all I want to say is, you know, you guys, thank you for having me. You know, I hope what I shared just now. Of course, you know, you take the information, even if it's not for you, take it and apply it to your sisters, your cousins, your friends, whoever. You know, just be there for be there for the person you know who's having a baby, and even after the baby, because it's so important. We definitely need that. Be there for them, and just take this information, just run with it. You know, like I said, I never heard of a uterine rupture until it happened to me, and it is
Yeah,
not fun. It is not fun.
no,
It is not nice.
not
It
at all.
is painful, and it is crazy. So, you know, just always be on the lookout, be there for whoever is important to you. Like for me, I'm here to talk to you guys about my information, about what happened to me, but I have sisters, I have cousins, I have friends, you know, and I have daughters who one day have babies. So
Yes.
I am, you know, going to be here, you know, for them, and to, you
Yeah,
know, lead them and talk to them, and, you know, guide them through. That's probably part of why I'm here. You know, you never know. So,
that's right.
um,
That's right.
I just want to, like I said, you know, thank you guys for having me on here. You know, I hope what I shared today was help touch you guys in some way. Maybe can help somebody in your family. Who knows? But just, you know, just be kind to people who you know who are pregnant and having a baby. For the most
Yes,
part,
please.
we have our ways, you know, with the hormones
Yes.
and everything. We get a little crazy sometimes, but
And
we
you
mean
deserve to
well.
be.
But we mean well. So, you know, just be
That's
kind
right.
to just be kind to them. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just going to read a few comments before you head out. I know you have to leave.
It's okay.
Miss Sharon said, "This is so educational, knowledgeable, and informative. Thanks for sharing. Take care of yourself, Miss KiKi. Best wishes to you all." Oh, that's sweet,
Thank
Miss
you.
Sharon. Capricorn girl, thank you. This was very informative and interesting. I don't know these things years ago when I had my children. Most of us did it. Miss Capricorn, I didn't have a doula. I had no idea until I went through trauma myself. That's how I got into this field, you know? So it's
And
just
sometimes
really
that's what it
so.
takes for us to go through our
Yeah.
own trauma. Hmm.
Unfortunately, that's what it is. And then, you know, it's every time that I go to a convention or a workshop or something, it's really funny that I find all these other cultures that are there that knew about doulas all their lives, but here we are, you know, that we just
Hmm.
didn't know enough. We didn't
Yeah.
know enough. It's not being taught in schools. And so that, you know, we just have to be more encouraged to teach our children's now at home.
Yep. Yep.
So Miss Pisces says, "KiKi and Kissed by the Sun. I'm going to share this live with my daughter. Thank you so much for the excellent topic. You are
You're
so welcome.
welcome.
So welcome." Miss Vicky Luke. Thank you, KiKi, for sharing your story. May God continue to bless you and your baby boy.
Thank
Um,
you.
Miss Diane Finch, thanks for sharing your story. Miss Gwen, thank you for sharing, KiKi. It brought back memories. Yes, yes, of course it did. Some women that follow me are not in the season of birth. You know, a few of them are grandmas. So, but I'm sure that they can look back at their own births, and I also want to have a panel open with my members and my supporters. I would love also to hear. I love listening to birth stories, even from babies that were born years ago. I like to listen to those stories. Those things are essential for us. That's how we learn.
Yep.
It's not also it's not only about
Mhm.
present studies that are happening now.
Yeah.
I want to hear about real life stories.
Yeah.
I want to hear it
Mhm.
coming from real women. That means more to me than anything,
Yeah.
because that makes me a better birth worker. It makes me more knowledgeable. It helps me to think, wow, so maybe if this happened, then what can we do now? How can we fix it? We need to have the conversation. And I'm all about access to care, right? Because we know that that works, and we know that that's incredibly difficult to happen, especially in a lot of communities. Access to care is just not visible for people, right? So if
Yeah.
we have this available for in the community for people of color that can't afford, because like not everybody can afford to pay two three
Yeah.
thousand dollars for a doula. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But there are so many people that are willing to provide these services for
Yeah.
little to nothing. I
Mhm.
promise you that. I promise you that. We just have to better inform our people and know how to help them to navigate this and facilitate it and find the information that they need.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Miss Carol is my special Miss Carol. This is my special Miss Carol. All right. Thank you for sharing this information. I'm happy to be here on this journey. Thank you, Miss Carol. I'll read a few more. Miss Antoinette, thank you, KiKi and Kiss. I really enjoy this.
Oh, you're welcome.
This is my beautiful moderator Vanessa, from one woman to the next. You got it. Power and strength. We are power and strength in numbers.
Yep.
Shasha, I know you're not just coming in here because I'm gonna have to ring the whole late bell for you, honey.
She
You
missed
know,
all of it.
girl. I love me some sha 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 sha. But you're gonna have to get the replay, boo. But thank you for coming through. I appreciate you too. All right, ladies. So I know that you guys have said a lot. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, Miss
I
KiKi.
do too. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you again. This mama has to go, honey, because her time is limited.
Oh boy.
Yes, her time is limited. She's juggling a lot right now. So I'll stay on for a little bit and continue to talk to you ladies if you like about anything. But I know Miss KiKi has to go. I don't want to hold her.
So,
Go ahead.
no, I was saying it's okay. It's okay if you have any other
Okay.
questions or anything like that. It's fine.
Okay. Pisces said I had to find my place with my daughter because she said I was smothering her. How do you know when you pull back from checking it? Miss Pisces, what you talking about, Miss Ma'am? What are you talking about now? Okay, Teresa. I almost died having birth with my first son. Wow.
Um,
I had went in labor for 8 hours. All of a sudden, all of the nurses and doctors came in and said, we have to do emergency C-section. My son's heartbeat was dropping. Wow. It's unfortunate that that happens. Teresa, what I want to know is, okay, did they try to do some stimulating before they rushed you to I'd like to know, like, you don't have to say it all right now. I know it's a lot to type out, but what I would be interested to know is what were the other circumstances that led to that, right? Because a lot of the times the baby's heart rates drop as they're trying to get through the birth canal, right? Sometimes we just have to move. This is why we have to find out different ways to move the body, okay? Because it's not easy for a baby to make it through that pelvis. It's a lot of work, Okay, and it's a lot of work for the baby, and it can be stressful. Remember what I said, that the it's a very not a toxic environment, but it's not an easy it's not an easy environment, right? It can be hostile, is what I said. It can
Yeah.
be a hostile environment, right, for a baby. The woman's reproductive system can be really, really hostile. So
Yeah.
it's not easy for a baby to make it through, right? They have to, their bones and everything like that, they got to get through and wiggle their way through. So sometimes their heart rate drops. But what I realize is that when we switch this mama into another position, we give the mama some leverage to move around and not just lay on her back. It's really, really helpful. Okay. I'm going to share with you an 18-year-old. She was actually a pro bono client, a second, my second client actually, as a new doula. Okay. This young girl was so scared. Okay. I don't know if I shared this story with you before. And she birthed at a baby at the time I was working at this specific hospital, but of course I wasn't working for the hospital when I was working for her. Okay. Um, I volunteered to help this young girl. She was incredibly, incredibly scared. She's still a college student, and doing very well with her son today. I'm really, really just so proud of her as a single mother. She didn't have much support. Her mother was blind. Okay, so her mother couldn't really help her in the way in which she needed, and she got with a guy, and they were both really young, and things happened, and it took a turn. But she stayed vigilant throughout her pregnancy. She never dropped out of school. She made it through. She graduated, and now was time to have the baby. And I got a referral from an organization that I'm affiliated with, Healthy Moms, Healthy Women. And so I decided to go out and take this client. I was actually a backup doula, but it just so happened that I took her as my client. 18 years old, guys. When I arrived at the hospital, she was having a very difficult time. Okay. And the baby was also. At this time now, they inserted a monitor vaginally in her because they couldn't pick up the baby's heart rate on the monitor that they do on the belly, right? So the external monitor wasn't picking up the baby's heart rate. So by the time I got there, they had already inserted this internal monitor thing, which a lot of the times is just, it's not even necessary. But hospitals, they
Yeah.
they tend to do these foolish intervention things that because they have to keep keep things safe for themselves, okay? Because they are governed by certain laws, and and they don't want to be sued and be held liable if something is to happen, right? But sometimes even these interventions are why things happen, right?
Yeah.
So she wasn't doing well. She was laying on her back. She was in excruciating pain. This is a mama that did not want an epidural. 18 years old, first baby. She did not want an epidural. She wanted to do this on her own. Okay. But she was getting ready to give because the pain was that intense and the baby heart rate was continuously dropping. Continuously dropping. They wouldn't allow her out the bed because she had that internal heart rate monitor going on for the baby. Okay. So I went to the nurse's desk and I told him, I says, I have to get her out of the bed. I need to be able to move her. I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I'm coming to you respectfully to speak with you first and see what we can do together in order to move her in some type of way so that, we don't have to have a C-section here, because that was going to be the next thing, right? They were already starting to talk about that and starting to get ready for that, right? So she was about 5 centimeters, 4 to 5 centimeters when I got there, yelling, screaming in excruciating pain, but trying to bear through it. Baby heart rate was continuously dropping, and it was coming, turning her from side to side in the bed, right? That wasn't working. So the nurses said, oh no, she can't get out the bed. She can't get out this bed. No, 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 no. She has that monitor in there. And she didn't have any epidural. Her legs were fine. They weren't numb. She was able to walk. But because she had this internal monitor, they didn't want her out the bed. She could not, God forbid, she got out that bed. So I said, well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to find something to do. And, because I wasn't, I'm trying to be in compliance with them, and I went respectfully because that's what I like to do as a doula. I don't like to take everything in control of myself. I like to give respect to the medical providers as well. It's important to have that balance, right? So I'm trying to give them the opportunity to work with me, but at the end of the day, I'm going to let my client make that decision, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to respect what they want to do, okay? So in speaking with the nurses, here comes the provider. She happens to be white, guys, okay? The nurses happen to be Black, by the way. And here's her provider. I'm including the race, not for anything, talk about bias or racism. I just want people to see that it's not only white people that might have that bias with us, right? So this provider says, okay, so tell me what's going on. She overheard, and I explained to her what was happening. She said, okay, so how would you feel comfortable moving her in the bed in another position possibly? Because we can't really have her out the bed because it's a liability right now with that thing, the monitor inserted inside. We don't want anything to tear, and rupture from the baby. It's attached to the baby's scalp, that monitor. Mm. So they don't want anything to tear. And I understood that where they were coming from a medical standpoint, right? They said, is there any way that we can do anything to, so that we can do it in the bed? She says, you go ahead, and as long as she remains in the bed, figure out what you do. So I said, okay, thank you. Went back to the room, and I got my peanut. It's a peanut that I have, right? It helps to, when the woman can't get out the bed, to help her to be more comfortable in different positions, right? So I got the peanut out and blew that up really quickly, and got her up on her knees, had her bent over. Within minutes, in this way her pelvis was able to open up better. Within minutes, the nurse comes running back in. She says, oh, she's in a different position? Okay. Well, this is great. She was like, you know what? Keep her this way because the baby is loving this. The baby's heart rate is back to normal. Baby was doing well. Mom was doing so much better. I was able to get to her sacrum. I was able to offer her some comfort touch. I was able to help her to do some hip presses because I can get to her now, and to help her to get this baby down. Within 30 minutes, she was ready for birth. She would have been a C-section had I not been there. You understand what I'm saying? I get chills when I talk about stuff like that because that's what doulas do as far as changing outcomes for mothers. And it's just as simple sometimes as a movement. The babies are going through a lot of trauma themselves trying to get out there. And by us laying on our backs, it's not always so helpful for that to happen, right? Even if they have to remain in the bed, there are ways to work around this. And doulas are very skilled to know how to do that. Okay, we've taken specific trainings to know how to do that. We can give the time that the nurses can't sit down and do. They just can't. They don't have time to sit there and help you with your sacrum and help you blow up a ball and help you do. They have to go from room to room. It's a shortage with nurses out here. They don't have time to do that. I don't work for the hospital when I'm there. I work for my client. You know what I mean? So these are just really important things to look at. It's not always because the baby's heart rate dropped that we have to go and run off. Sometimes, yes. Like in KiKi's, that was a time that we needed to do that,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Miss KiKi, thank you.
You're welcome
for being here. I am going to let you go, my love.
No problem. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week, Thursday, for the financial seminar. Bring your questions. Come prepared to get information. Come prepared to get help if you're in that stage of your journey. And we will talk next Thursday. Okay?
All right, Miss KiKi. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that was great. Isn't she wonderful? I knew you guys were gonna like her. She's beautiful. Yes, you have to make sure that you come make sure you be here and support this, because this is really, really important. I'm going through a lot of work to on the back end, trying to get these people to come up and come and speak with you all, and it's just important. Sometimes we have to just let the drama and stuff sit down for a minute, because these are things that are just so incredibly important. It's life saving. Um, KiKi, remember that I shared with you on my community wall the financial person that had helped me previously to be able to attain financial security, right? And it gave me a lot of financial information and education. And I told you that he passed away. Okay. KiKi took so she's now my financial advisor. Okay. So she took his, but she works for the same company, the same organization that he did. And so she took, let's take his place, because I mean, this was a personal friend of mine as well. So no one could ever take his place. But she is now helping me to stay focused and to maintain my financial security and everything like that for me and my husband. Okay. So I really believe in this company. I am, she's really good at teaching it, right? And so I am the example of what can happen if you listen and you take the time to do exactly what these people are teaching you to do, right? So we just have to just listen and just try to get as much information as it doesn't cost us a thing to receive this information, right? So we just have to listen and just get as much information as we can, and we can start off as small as around in your budget. Okay. So I want y'all to come back next Thursday. Of course, I'm going to be back before then. Okay. Another thing that I want to make clear, right, y'all? I'm sorry. I have a cold. You see that my nose is still red, right? My nose is red. I have a horrible cold. That's why y'all heard me that way too. I know that you guys heard the vulnerable moment that I had a few days ago on here. Okay. Um, I've made some posts after that in regards to that moment that I had on here. Okay. What I want to explain about that, and I'm not going to be addressing too much. I'm not going to be affiliated with listening to any more of the foolishness and the nonsense. Okay. I have completely tuned out to that. I just don't want to be a part of it, right? My focus here has always been to take this platform for YouTube, not just this sector. I have said it in every single video from my first to this one, right? That has always been the plan. Okay? It has nothing is going to stop me from supporting whom I choose to support, but I don't want to be in a mainstream of what's going on and affiliated with what's going on in this particular sector, because my content is not about what's happening in this sector. It doesn't fit, it doesn't fit in that narrative. So I just, I'm still going to be present, but I pick and choose what I choose to do, right? Because I want my platform to go a specific direction. Okay. And in order for me to maintain my peace and continue on in doing what I'm trying to do with my platform, this is what I choose to do. Okay. Now, it doesn't change how I feel about y'all at all, period. I know that, folks take they will take my post and spin it around and think that I was speaking to them in some type of way, but I just wasn't. All right. I just wanted to still let you know that I'm still here. Okay. That my tears wasn't for anything that anybody, because I told you these people could never, honey. And I meant it. Okay. My tears were specifically for the trauma for Courtney. Okay. It was extremely triggering to hear that all over again, and for him to have to face that publicly. Me and Roz, I sent her a message, and we speak in Instagram. She understands my position with that and why I have to step back with hearing about some of those things, and she understands and she knows. Okay. And she still supports me and I still support her. That doesn't change. Okay. So, whatever she chooses to do, I have no control over. But I know that it's certain things that I just don't want to hear. Okay. Because I have to protect my own peace. And those things were very triggering for me. Okay. I couldn't imagine having to deal with that publicly. All right. I also too have suffered sexual trauma. I haven't shared my story. When I'm ready, I will share my story. Okay. Just the same as Courtney. Okay. So, but for me, I don't choose to listen to that right now. None of us caused him that trauma. Okay. But he respectfully wants to be able to do that in his time, and I totally agree with that, and I'm sure everyone else would agree with the same. Okay, we're not monsters. We can see past that. We all have, I'm pretty sure, some empathy, right? So people can understand that that's incredibly difficult for anyone, especially other people who have gone through that, to have to deal with that publicly. I couldn't imagine. Okay. So, I stay out of that because I don't want to have to deal with that publicly. Right. And I don't want to have to rehash anything from my own childhood that I may have dealt with. Okay. And I advise anyone else that feels that way to fall back. Doesn't mean that you can't support who you want to support, but not everything is for you to hear. I mean, sometimes you got to fall back a little bit from some of these things, okay? Because it's not healthy to hear all of those things. You know what I mean? Sometimes, even for what's going on out here, I mean, find a balance, right? I'm supposed to be the balance. That's what I'm here for. That was always the objective. It wasn't for me to be getting attacked in the way that I was, okay? And it wasn't fair for me. It wasn't fair for my children to be attacked in the way that it was, especially for people that have no education at all in what childhood obesity is, all right, or who have no education as to the far as traumas for sexual abuse. Okay, it's not for people like that, because my daughter has a very good physician that has never diagnosed my baby with childhood obesity. Okay, we have conversations, and she gives me education. She's actually a beautiful Black woman, by the way. I seek this when I look for doctors, for myself and for my children, right? Because we have options. You have options in healthcare. Okay. And so, I always make everything, I know what I'm doing, right? And I know that people will poke and find fun in certain things, but we don't get to choose. If you protect children, you protect all children, no matter if you agree with the parents or not. It's that's the right thing to do. Okay, whether you agree with the parents, what they're involved in, or their involvement in something, when we are here as healthcare workers, no matter what it is, social workers, teachers, doctors, whatever it is, we just like if you're going to be working directly with children, you don't get to pick and choose which children. I mean, you can't be biased. All children should always be protected. It doesn't matter, right? We should never speak ill on anybody's children. And that's just the way that I feel. Okay. So, once again, I'm not going to be addressing or looking or going back and forth, because my platform was never, ever about that. My platform was only supposed to be about bringing forth this information, financial security, which is one a thing that is really, really important to me, because I had to struggle a lot to do it. And I wish that, I could have made some other decisions earlier on. But I'm glad that I had the right people in my corner when I did, to get it done, right? So that's important to me. And of course, about my birth work, y'all know how I feel about that. This is what this platform is about. And I'm not going to allow anyone else to misdirect me to do anything else, because I shouldn't have allowed it to begin with. Okay. So that's where we are here and now. Your girl will be back. I'm going to come back tomorrow with an inspirational live. You know, it's Sunday. I'm going to come with the word. Okay. The word will be all up in this place tomorrow. The music will be on. It will not be a monetized video. Y'all know I don't care about that. There will be a giveaway coming soon. I do have enough in the Google payment thing. I'm just waiting on, they were supposed to send me something to my mail. So that's the only thing that I'm waiting for to get the verification. But there is money there, guys. So remember, I told y'all whatever the first check is, it will be. I'm gonna let you guys know. Okay, it will be a members only giveaway. This one in particular, right, will be a members only giveaway. My next giveaway, because I'm going to be doing them members only, then because not everybody can get a badge, so I want to be fair, right? So one will be members only, one will be for everyone, one will be members only, and so on and so forth, right? So the next one is going to be members only. It's going to happen sometime in February because I'm going to give people a chance to get their badges. You can get the $2.99 badge. Doesn't matter what badge you get. The lowest one is for $2.99. If you want to get that badge, I encourage you to do so because my members in particular are going to have the most perks. Okay. But everybody in general, because I don't want to do that to other people that can't afford to be able to do that. So everybody is also going to get benefits from this channel. I'm not going to turn my back on y'all. I'm going to make sure that I take care of y'all. I'm going to take care of my moderators because they taking time to take care of me and keep my room right. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got my back. I'm going to always have your back over here. 100. Okay? What happened, baby? Okay, I'm going to get dinner for you now. I'm getting off of the... You want a snack now? It's 5:25. We're going to have dinner soon. So what, you want dinner or you want a snack? Because I'm going to make dinner. I was going to make pasta. You want pasta? What's the snack? Junk food. Go ahead. No, no, no. Y'all didn't eat your... You didn't eat your lunch? Why not? Because you had a late breakfast. All right. So go ahead with the snack and then I'm going to make dinner for you in a minute, okay? The dinner will be quick anyway. All right. It'll be ready in about an hour. So go ahead and have the snack. Take Lily something too. All right. There's yogurt and pretzels. Have that. Faith, that's not healthy. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. I gotta give her what she wants so she she can let me close it out. Cause child, these children. Oh, thank you. Yes. So, just going back to that, if you want to be a part of, because obviously the members are going to have more advantage of the giveaways, right? Because I want to try to do 2 giveaways a month. Okay. So one will be members only, and one will be for all members. I mean, subscribers and members together, right? So you get a chance in both of those if you are a member. Okay. So let's try to get this done. We're going to start it off again next month and get the giveaways going. I'm going to give back to my people because y'all are the ones who, support me and who are here, and you deserve that, because you didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank y'all. So get ready tomorrow. We're going to have a good time. Arvid, pardon, you're beautiful and pretty and gorgeous and cute. Oh, Lord. And hot, sexy women. Oh, gosh. And hot and sexy mama and hot and sexy babe. I love you, sweetheart. Kiss you, sweetheart. Okay. But I'm married now. I'm mad now. Thank you, though. I appreciate the compliment. I know that it's in the best way that you're sending it. I appreciate the compliment. Honey, we gonna have, listen, Arvid, we're gonna have a ladies and guy hookup maybe sometime, okay? But I'm taking, I can't, you can't break up my happy home. But, make sure you subscribe and come back because we don't have too many men's here, but we have a whole lot of ladies. A whole lot of ladies. So maybe, we'll have a little dating night or something like that. Look, let's see how this go now. Let's see what we can introduce up in here. Y'all better shut up. Oh Lord. Yes, I know. I know she will, Teresa. I know. I know my baby will. I ain't paying attention. Listen, her pediatrician is not concerned at all with it. She's just not. We've done tests. All her numbers, everything is right. She's perfectly fine, perfectly balanced, well balanced, normal child, living her best life, honey. She's an honor roll student. She's doing so well. I'm very proud of my children. So, yeah. Tracy. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Thank you, sis. You don't have to do that, but I thank you so much. I feel happy knowing you still be here. God bless you. Because I said, I'm not going anywhere. I thought, I said that I'm done, right? I'm done as far as being a part of just focusing on this sector, right? I don't want to be a part of that, the foolishness and all that crap and being pulled into thing and being just like attacked in that way. I don't want to be a part of that at all. Okay, because I want my channel to continue to stay as positive and getting the information, and I don't want people to draw me in and bring me that. So I will, even because I'm working on a lot of things on the background, y'all. I'm working on a lot of things on the background, and there's really y'all are going to be like, whoa, there's some great people that are coming that are going to be a part of my panel, and I'm hoping that they make pages too. Well, some do already have, some people already have, but I'm going to wait on it because I have to wait to get everything scheduled. These people are busy people as well. And some of them have a great following as well. So, I'm looking forward to what's coming. I'm really looking forward to what's coming. And, y'all just continue to ride with me. My algorithm may change a little bit. I have some people that are going to be helping me with that as well, so help me to get all these hashtags right, to get my social media platforms together. I have a few things going on. So it's going to take me into a complete different algorithm. And that's exactly what I'm looking for because I want the information to get to who really needs it and who really wants to receive it, right? It's not only facilitated for this sector. That's the plan. That's growth, right? Okay. So I'm gonna get ready to get out of here because my babies are hungry. And here she go back up here again. Did you take the snack for you and Lily? So what you doing back in here? Oh, you get your water. Okay. Yes, yes. And I want y'all to be able to come on my platform and bring it. Like Teresa, you talked about, I want to have a birth story. The next birth stories is gonna be with my members and supporters. I want y'all to come up here and talk about it. I want to have conversations with you. This is important to hear. It's important to have these conversations. So I'm excited for that. Love and blessings. All right. To my replay gang, thank y'all too for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed everything. I hope everyone continues to have a wonderful evening. I have to go because my husband and these children are going to be looking around for dinner in a minute, honey. And yes, this wife cooks on a daily. So, they ate out yesterday pizza because it was Friday, but I got to cook today for them. So I'm gonna get ready to go, but I will be back tomorrow sometime in the afternoon with some nice inspiration. I'm gonna have a few scriptures and a few things, for y'all to be inspired about and to listen. I know we need the balance, okay, and some really nice music. And I just hope y'all will be here and get the word and get uplifted with me, okay? All right, but I love y'all. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Yes, I'm taking you with me. I'm taking you with me. You know me and you gonna talk. I'm gonna send you my phone number, Angel Mom. Okay, you know you my girl. You my Bronx girl. I'm taking you all the way. We going somewhere. All right? Because I see where your content is going to. It's not really based around this sector. You have something different that you're doing, so we can go somewhere else. Okay? All right. Love you guys, girl. Sometimes I be cheating too, but for the most part, I try to. I try to cook them something. My kids are spoiled, honey. All right, y'all. Love you. Bye bye.